Letting go of this person is the hardest thing you will ever do. But here's why it matters more than anything you are feeling right now, because what you are holding on to is not just a person. It is a version of your life that no longer exists, but still lives inside your mind, and that is why it hurts so much. Right now, your heart is not just breaking because they are gone. It is breaking because something familiar is dissolving, something you emotionally depended on without even realizing it. A presence, a routine, a sense of meaning that your mind quietly built its world around. And now that world feels empty. You replay moments. You question decisions. You imagine alternate endings where things didn't fall apart. And in all of that mental noise, one question quietly repeats itself. How do I let go of someone who felt like my entire emotional world? But the truth is, letting go was never meant to feel easy, because what you are releasing is not just a person. You are releasing attachment, identity, expectation, emotional dependency, and the version of yourself that only existed in relation to them. And that is why this feels like loss, but is actually transformation in disguise. If you stay with me in this video, you will begin to see something most people never fully understand. That letting go is not what breaks you, it is what rebuilds you, and what feels like the hardest ending in your life right now might actually be the beginning of your strongest version. Why does this feel like losing a part of yourself? Letting go is not just an emotional act. It feels physical, mental, existential. Because what you are experiencing is not simply separation from a person. It is separation from a shared emotional reality. When someone becomes deeply important in your life, your mind doesn't just see them as someone you love. It integrates them into your sense of stability, identity, and daily emotional rhythm. They become part of your mental structure, so when they are gone, it doesn't feel like losing someone outside of you. It feels like losing something inside of you. That is why even silence becomes loud. Even memories feel heavy. Even ordinary moments feel empty. Your brain keeps searching for what used to be there, not just physically but emotionally. This is also why Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius often emphasize that suffering comes not from loss itself, but from our resistance to it. Because the mind struggles to accept change when it has emotionally fused itself with permanence, but nothing in life is permanent. And the deeper truth begins here. What feels like emotional death is actually the mind resisting transformation. Because letting go forces you to confront something uncomfortable, the reality that attachment creates illusion of control, safety, and continuity. And when that illusion breaks, it feels like everything is collapsing, but in reality, only the illusion is ending, and something more honest is beginning. What if you were never holding on to reality, only a feeling of it? One of the hardest truths in letting go is this: you were never holding on to forever. You were holding on to the idea of forever. And the mind, when it loves deeply, has a quiet habit. It turns moments into meaning and meaning into permanence. A simple conversation becomes a memory you revisit. A warm gesture becomes a promise you assume will last. A phase of closeness becomes a silent belief that this will always be here. But life does not promise permanence. It only offers experience. And yet, when something feels emotionally safe, the mind starts behaving as if it is stable. This is where illusion begins, not as a lie, but as emotional hope stretching itself too far into the future. So when that connection ends or changes, it doesn't just disrupt your present. It shatters the future you had already built in your imagination. That is why letting go doesn't feel like a simple goodbye. It feels like the collapse of an entire timeline that only existed in your mind. Philosophers like Buddha spoke deeply about this. That suffering arises when we cling to what is naturally changing, mistaking impermanence for stability. And this is exactly what heartbreak exposes. Not just attachment to a person, but attachment to continuity, to the belief that what feels good now should remain forever, but nothing remains in the same form, not emotions, not people, not even you. And when this realization slowly enters your awareness, something begins to shift inside you. You start seeing that the pain is not just about losing them. It is about losing the illusion that they were meant to stay forever. And that realization, although painful, is the first step toward emotional clarity. Because once illusion breaks, truth can finally enter. What if letting go is not about them, but about who you were with them? There is a hidden layer to letting go that most people never notice at first. You think you are releasing a person, but slowly you begin to realize you are also releasing a version of yourself that only existed in that connection. The version of you that waited for replies. The version of you that adjusted your emotions around their mood. The version of you that held on to hope even when clarity was fading. That version feels familiar, comfortable even, because it was shaped inside a relationship that gave your emotions structure, even if it also gave you pain. And this is why letting go feels so disorienting, because it is not only a goodbye to them, it is a quiet separation from the identity you built around them. This is where self-awareness begins to surface in a deeper way. You start noticing things you ignored before. Your emotional compromises, your silence when you should have spoken, your attachment when you should have stepped back, not as guilt, but as recognition. Carl Jung described this kind of realization as the moment when the unconscious becomes conscious. When what was hidden in emotional patterns finally comes into light, and in that light, something powerful happens. You realize that some parts of you were surviving in that relationship, not thriving, and letting go begins to feel less like loss and more like recovery, because the truth is, not every version of you is meant to continue into your future. Some versions exist only to teach you how deeply you can become attached. And once that lesson is learned, they begin to dissolve naturally. Not because you failed, but because you are evolving beyond them, and evolution always requires release. What if this ending is quietly becoming your restart? There is a moment in every deep emotional letting go when something unexpected happens. The pain doesn't disappear, but it changes shape. It stops feeling like something is happening to you, and slowly starts feeling like something is happening within you. And this is where transformation begins. Because after all the confusion, after all the memories, after all the emotional resistance, a quiet truth starts rising inside you. You are still here. Despite everything that left, you are still here. And that realization carries more meaning than it first appears to, because it shows you something powerful. That your entire emotional world was never fully dependent on what you lost. It only felt that way. This is where letting go begins to reveal its hidden purpose. It is not just removal, it is refinement. You begin to notice changes in how you think, how you feel, how you respond to memories that once controlled you. What used to pull you back now simply passes through you. What used to hurt deeply now becomes softer, more distant, more understandable. This is emotional maturity forming in real time. Philosophically, this is what many traditions point toward, not the absence of pain, but the expansion of awareness beyond it. Stoics would call it freedom from attachment. Buddhists would call it release from clinging. Modern psychology would call it emotional integration. But in simple human terms, it is this. You are no longer the same person who needed them to feel whole. And that is why this pain matters. Because it didn't just remove someone from your life, it removed an illusion from your identity. And what remains is something stronger, quieter, and more grounded. Not because you forgot them, but because you finally found yourself again. So if letting go feels impossible right now, don't rush it. Let it teach you, because one day you will look back at this moment and understand it was never just about losing someone. It was about becoming someone who no longer needed to hold on the same way. And that is where freedom begins.